What if the most powerful people in the world weren't exposed because the truth was too dangerous? Jeffrey Epstein didn't just live in luxury, he lived surrounded by presidents, billionaires, royalty, and institutions meant to protect the public. His crimes were whispered about for years, yet nothing happened. Deals were made, files were sealed, witnesses were ignored. And then, just as the world was finally watching, he died. The question isn't just who was Jeffrey Epstein. The real question is, how did he get away with it for so long, and who benefited from his silence? Jeffrey Epstein's name became synonymous with power, secrecy, and unanswered questions. Officially, he was a financier. Unofficially, he moved through the world's most exclusive circles with ease: private jets, private islands, and private meetings with people who shaped governments, media, and global finance. For years, Epstein existed in plain sight, protected by wealth and connections, while operating in shadows few were allowed to see. The Epstein files are not just about one man's crimes, they are about how power shields itself, how institutions fail, and how truth can be delayed, but never erased. The story begins with Epstein's rise. With no clear explanation for his wealth, he embedded himself among billionaires, politicians, royalty, and academics. He positioned himself as a connector, someone who could open doors, fund research, and introduce the right people to each other. This role gave him access, credibility, and protection. Epstein understood something critical: proximity to power can be more valuable than power itself. The higher he climbed socially, the harder it became for anyone to question him. Behind this carefully constructed image, prosecutors later alleged a pattern of abuse involving underage girls. These allegations did not emerge all at once. They surfaced slowly, often ignored, minimized, or buried. Victims reported being recruited, groomed, and silenced through money, intimidation, and shame. Many said they tried to speak out, only to be dismissed or threatened. What makes the Epstein case uniquely disturbing is not just the accusations, it is how long they were allowed to continue. In 2008, Epstein reached a controversial plea deal in Florida that allowed him to avoid federal charges and serve minimal jail time. The deal was negotiated in secrecy and later criticized by judges, journalists, and legal experts. It sent a chilling message: there are different rules for different people. For Epstein, accountability was delayed. For the victims, justice was denied. This moment became a turning point not just in the case, but in public trust toward the justice system. Years later, renewed investigations reopened the case. Federal prosecutors in New York charged Epstein with sex trafficking. This time, the scrutiny was global. Flight logs, financial records, sealed court documents, and witness testimonies became central to the investigation. These materials, often referred to collectively as the Epstein files, revealed how extensive his network was. They showed patterns of travel, associations, and financial movements that raised more questions than answers. One of the most sensitive aspects of the Epstein files is the list of names connected to him. It is critical to understand this clearly. Being named in documents does not equal guilt. Some individuals were witnesses, associates, or mentioned incidentally. Others deny wrongdoing entirely. The danger lies in speculation without evidence. However, the presence of powerful names underscores a deeper issue. Epstein did not operate in isolation. He existed within systems that allowed access, protection, and silence. In August 2019, Epstein died in a federal jail cell while awaiting trial. His death was officially ruled a suicide, but it immediately sparked widespread skepticism. Surveillance failures, procedural violations, and unanswered questions fueled public doubt. For many, Epstein's death felt like an ending that solved nothing. With him gone, the possibility of a full public trial and full accountability disappeared. The aftermath shifted focus to survivors and enablers. Civil lawsuits continued. Some settlements were reached. Some documents were unsealed. Each release brought new information, but also reinforced how much remains hidden. Survivors spoke publicly, not for fame or money, but to reclaim control over narratives stolen from them. Their courage reframed the story from scandal to systemic abuse. The Epstein files matter because they expose how power operates when unchecked. They show how wealth can buy silence, how institutions can fail the vulnerable, and how truth can be delayed through influence and fear. This case is not just about sex crimes, it is about accountability in a world where elites often escape consequences. In the end, the Epstein story leaves us with an uncomfortable truth. Justice is not automatic. It must be demanded, protected, and enforced, especially when powerful people are involved. The files may never reveal everything, but they reveal enough to remind us that darkness thrives not just through evil acts, but through silence, complicity, and indifference. And history has shown us one thing clearly: what is buried eventually surfaces.